we both think that Henry Davis should be the starting catcher. Not 90% of the time. We like Joey Bart, too. But we think, I'm going to speak for you, Limits, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Any objections, please raise them.
Will do.
That Davis is a better defensive player, that Davis needs some runway here to fail a little bit as a hitter. And by the way, he's got an 800 OPS in May and limited at-bats. We saw what happened last night. Still get Bart in the lineup, but one of the two could be a DH once in a while. Unfortunately, that might mean no Kutch for more games. I don't know. Whatever it means, we think Henry Davis needs to play a ton more. Do you agree?
Yeah,
and what are the ramifications?
Well, I do, just based on if he's trending in the right direction and if he's somebody that is going to produce and help this team, then, there's really no positions that are safe, perhaps outside of Reynolds and Cruz. Up and down the lineup, maybe you could throw IKF, but not necessarily into that category. These jobs are open.
But there's only a limited number of defensive positions, including for McCutchen.
And I think that you're going to hit your way into the lineup and whatever those positions may be. And I heard you guys kicking this around a little earlier, and I would agree, maybe that requires McCutchen to put on a glove, but he's also done nothing really to lose any job or at-bats because he's been really part of the solution. So I would say that Bart, who right now isn't slugging, and really in the month of May, if you look at his numbers, he's just not hitting overall.
Yeah.
And that job is very much up for grabs. Who says that Joey Bart is solidified as the C1? He can be overtaken by Henry Davis. Why not? And I think, some position flexibility would help. I've long been an advocate for Joey Bart to wear a first baseman's mitt.
So as Limits, yeah.
Ideally, I would have liked to see that happen in spring training, but he's looking right now, Bart, trending to be a platoon guy. Really is hitting left-handed pitching well, right-handed pitching. He's been dreadful. And Davis, if he's going to slug, and then you mentioned the defensive part of his game, which is wild to me because I was ready to move him to right field, never see him catch again. Happy to be wrong on that. Credit to him for, shoving that down my throat.
Well, but it's also the Pirates who made us think that by why the hell aren't they using this guy at catcher that they just drafted as a catcher?
Right, and he's improved substantially defensively. He's really good. He's got a great motor, great energy. There's an intensity to his game. There's an IQ to his game that you like all of that stuff. And now if he's figured out an approach and if he's staying middle away, the home run was great yesterday, but to right center field, that double, which is I think a homer in 15 out of 30 ballparks, that authority to right center field, that is more impressive and encouraging and promising than anything that he's done. And of all the things that happened yesterday, that is my big takeaway.
Yeah.
Him going to right center field, because if he is in a good middle away approach, the way that he can impact the baseball is special. And maybe you'll see him start to realize the potential. And Neil Walker on the postgame show last night made a great point, because I think Davis does fall into this category, and not to belabor this point, but he really grinds the handle of the bat. He's such an intense guy that sometimes through analysis, you get paralysis with Henry Davis.
Yeah.
He can be so hard on himself, undeservingly so. He gives, I think, no room for grace to himself. And the fact that he was just thrown into the game, maybe cold turkey, he maybe didn't over-prepare for this thing. He didn't overanalyze for this thing. And they just willy-nillied it, tossed him in there, and he did what he did. That may have something to do with it.
Yeah.
Where you just see ball, hit ball, simplify it, because you can get so analytical in this game, Joe, and you can absolutely inundate yourself between the ears. Maybe just throwing somebody into the deep end saying, all right, go ahead, swim. Sometimes that's when they not only float, but they actually swim and have success.
Right, but then you need to give them time to fail a little bit. And that's what I think they need to do that. I mean, I don't care how well they play, if they indeed play well. The season's basically cooked as far as contending for anything.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's not in their top 1, 2, or 3 priorities for the rest of this season, is to find out what you have in Henry Davis at the plate. He needs time to fail, in my opinion. Do you agree?
No, I would agree with that. And I also don't want to dismiss Joey Bart either, because there's pedigree.
No.
He was as close to a 1-1 as you can get, the heir apparent to Buster Posey. So all sorts of pedigree
Sure.
with the Giants organization. And basically, he fell to the Pirates as a roster casualty. I think the Giants very much would love to have him back in their organization. So there's all sorts of ability and acumen there with Bart. Position flexibility absolutely would help. And yeah, you've got to give Davis some runway here for sure.